I created this video to show how to make a blown glass chandelier.
All right, folks, how you doing? I just talked to an old friend. He's asking me to make him a chandelier. I'm gonna come up with an Art Deco design that he's asked me to do. And I think the color I'm gonna use is gonna be a gray red. So it'll be gray when the light's off and kind of a glowing reddish color when the lights are on. So right now I'm gonna make a prototype and see what that looks like.
So I start the prototype with the first gather on the pipe, give the marver a little wipe, and then get the starter bubble. I just trapped air in the pipe and the air expands when you cap it. Now I'm going to let that cool and get another gather, and then cool it on the pipe cooler and roll it in the first color, which is the red. Make sure to get a real even coat of the frit, and then I put another layer of color, which is the blue. Now I'm going to shape the bubble just so that it will fit into the mold. Now this is called a pineapple mold, and the pineapple mold has all these little pyramid-like shapes in it that give the bubble a symmetrical pattern and looks really cool when it's blown out. It looks very optical. So I'm going to reheat it, take it to the bench, and start blowing through my blow hose while I'm necking down the bubble. You got to turn really fast because this thing's pretty hot and floppy. And then I got to make sure I get the right size, so I use my calipers and the shears to crimp down the neck so it breaks off. I use a little bit of water so it breaks clean. And I like to torch the lip so that when I'm handling the piece the next day, there's no sharp parts. Okay, now the last move is put in the kiln. Let's see what it looks like tomorrow. I just got into the shop. I'm gonna check out that prototype I made yesterday. See how the color looks. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. I like it. Very blue-gray. And if you hold it up to the light, oh, there we go. Yeah, that's gorgeous. Yeah, so I really like that blue. I'm gonna make 3 more of these for the chandelier, and then I'm gonna make the bowl. All right. Making the bowl, which is the centerpiece of the chandelier, starts out the same way as the spherical pendant. The bubble is blown into the pineapple mold, but then gathered over with molten clear, which traps a pattern of air bubbles in each dent the mold creates. Now I'm taking the second gather on the bubble and shaping it on the marver to be taken to the bench and blown out using my blow hose. I'm papering the bottom to keep the glass thick while I blow into it and expand it. The bottom always gets hotter, so you got to make sure you cool that bottom the most with the paper. Now I'm putting the neckline in and torching a hole in the bottom. Now I can get my jacks in there and begin opening this bubble into the bowl shape. I like to heat the entire bubble in the glory hole so that the whole thing is hot. And I use my graphite parchofes, which is the tool in my hand, to open this bubble up, as well as the newspaper and the centrifugal motion of just turning the glass. And you can see how hot the glass is by the way the tool is bending the glass open right there. Alright, so here is the piece that will be the center of the chandelier. This is the largest piece I was blowing earlier, and I like it a lot. Beautiful color. It's kind of blue on one side and this dark burgundy red on the other. Alright. Here is the blown pendant, which will require 2 holes, and I'm going to create the first hole by grinding it on my flat lap. So I'm standing here at my flat lap machine. I'm going to use a 100 grit diamond first to grind into the pendant, and you want to use a lot of water. It will help lubricate the glass and keep it cool, not crack. And I've got a variable speed on my machine, so I turn it down kind of slow so it doesn't rip into the glass too quickly. The next hole, I use the drill press and I put rubber washers on it so that the chuck doesn't smash into the glass after the hole is drilled. I also use this piece of styrofoam to put the pendant on so that it has a cushion and not just sitting on steel. When drilling, I use a core drill. I buy those on eBay, and you want to make sure you use water to lubricate the glass as you're drilling into it. So there you go. There's the hole from the drill press, and there's the hole from the flat lap. You can get your hand in there, put a light bulb in, and this is the hardware I'm going to use, which is called antique brass. And here is the finished glass, all laid out in the form which the chandelier will look like. Now it's time to just begin attaching all the hardware. And I ordered my hardware from Grand Brass. They have a great website, grandbrass.com. It comes in all these bags. They've got everything you need. These will be the light sockets. And these are the lights that will go in it. They're E12. They're real small. I got them on Amazon. So I'm going to put a little Loctite on the nipple and a nut, and you want it to look like that when it's all said and done. Next move is to take this brass nipple and put a nut on it so that the light socket only tightens on just a little bit. But you don't want to put the light socket on yet. First you have to take this nipple and put a brass nut on it and a rubber washer and put it in through the hole of the pendant. Then you want to put another rubber washer and another brass nut. Now you want to put the coupler and the elbow together and screw those on top of the nipple. Now you want to remember that light socket. So you take that and you feed the wire up through the nipple and out the elbow. But before you move too fast, stop. You have to make sure your wires are coming out of your elbow before you can go forward. You want the wires to go through the nipple that the green arrow is pointing at, and the wires to come out of the nut and the body like you see. I didn't capture video footage of what it is I'm explaining, but right here you'd have the wire going through the nipple and out the body, and then you twist it just 2 or 3 times, and that's as much as you can go. Once you've got them all wired up, you'll have all the wires coming out of the center or the body of the chandelier, and then you can test it to make sure it works. Ooh, look at that. That looks gorgeous. Let's see it again. Oh yeah, I like that a lot. The next step is to attach the center light fixture, and you've got to watch out for these wires here when you're putting on the cap, because you don't want to strip those wires with the nipple on the inside. Here it is all assembled, hanging in my shop, and you can see the color changing there and all the bubble patterns and mold patterns that are evident when the light is on. And I really like it. I feel like it turned into a beautiful piece. You can really tell right here how it's blue, and then lights come on and it turns red. Now, I didn't know it was going to be that red. I like it a lot. I feel like it's kind of an amber red, and I was going for a Art Deco design, but I feel like it turned into much more of a mid-century modern look. Reminds me of some old Italian steakhouse, like this is going to hang above the booth you're sitting in a restaurant. There's all kinds of other hardware colors as well for chandeliers. Here's a list of all the parts I used, and if you like what you saw, please subscribe or leave some comments below. Thanks a lot.